Hello, everybody. My name is Bob O'Donnell, and I am the president of Technalysis Research, joined by
Ray Wong with Constellation Research, live here in San Francisco with...
Hi, Grant Liu. I'm CEO and one of the co-founders at DataMasque.
Excellent, and one of the startups here at Partner Summit.
Yes.
So, all right, first questions first. What is DataMasque? What do you do?
Fair enough. So we solve the problem of sensitive data that falls into those lower environment use cases. So what started out as dev and test and analytics has very quickly moved into AI and ML workloads. So whether that's training, experimentation, fine tuning, it's those, think of those high quality internal data use cases where people want to be using customer data or want to be using health data, but due to the sensitivity, data protection, they can't actually access that data. So we solve the problem by creating high fidelity synthetic data.
Well, you built the solution, but it became a global solution. How are you leveraging the AWS Marketplace to take this into new markets?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a New Zealand headquartered organization. And so very early on, we knew for DataMasque to be successful, it had to be sold outside of our home market. And we, drank the Kool-Aid on Marketplace very early on in our journey. So the idea that we could have access to these AWS sales people, access to AWS customers globally, obviously really attracted. So we, very early on, we made a decision that we wanted to be Marketplace first. And yeah, we followed the pattern of co-build, co-market, and then eventually got the right to co-sell with Marketplace.
You're living proof that the playbook works.
Yeah, I actually thought it was what everyone was doing, and then it was. I mean,
the playbook's there, but not everyone's following it the way you are.
Yeah, so we did the paint by numbers, and it worked out really, really well for us. So it's allowed us to keep majority of the team in New Zealand, be able to sell internationally, find opportunities internationally, to really have an inbound play and a mix between sort of product-led growth and sales-led growth.
And yet, you still have a very small sales and marketing team, correct?
Yeah, correct. We had about 1 million ARR here in the US before we put any boots in the ground, so and this being our largest market. Right. So it allowed us to be able to sell ahead of expansion.
So the US and the UK are your largest markets, yet you don't have sales presence in the traditional sense.
Yeah, we do now in the US, but yeah, and we had a bunch of sales before we actually put people on the ground here, and we could do that from New Zealand.
And that means you can put more of your people on R&D, on product,
exactly.
And now you scale up as you need to on the sales side.
So we can prove the market that there's demand in market before we actually put people there. But through Marketplace, we've had sales into Brazil, India, Europe, and obviously North America. And it's allowed us for people to find DataMasque through Marketplace, and then for us to be able to service those customers in these areas that we have no presence at all.
It's awesome.
Well, it doesn't hurt the fact that you're tapping into an extraordinarily hot market with a solution that is very specialized and yet very required. Because, as you said, we've all heard it's a garbage in, garbage out, good quality data in, good quality output. And so you're allowing these companies to take what is going to be the good quality data, but hidden in a way that lets them leverage that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people miss the fact that the very first thing that needs to be done is that testing or experimenting with AI. And if it has any access to customer data, how do you do that? And so by de-identifying the data, but keeping all the fidelity and the utility of that data, it allows organizations to do that experimentation without any risk. There's no data sovereignty, no risks of exposing customer data into these LLMs that aren't yours or a third-party SaaS solution that's using. So by de-identifying the data, but keeping all that fidelity, it allows them to experiment, test it with no risk. It's actually better than customer data, because you have none of the downsides.
Right. Well, and it's interesting because I think most people that hear synthetic data, they're thinking kind of totally made up, but yours is really based in reality.
Exactly, and that's right. And because you could go to an LLM now and say, create 10,000 rows of synthetic data, and that's great. It's very easy to do, but has absolutely no relevance to your production data set.
It's just more noise.
It's just exactly. And what we do is we'll take your customer data. We will maintain the relationships, the primary and foreign key relationships, the consistency of data, and we will do that across all data sets. So your data that's sitting in EDI files in a mainframe system to data sitting in your RDS or Snowflake. Bob will become John, and all of those systems will maintain that consistency of data, that messiness that's there. It looks and acts exactly like production, but yeah, where it was sensitive data is now synthetic.
No, it's real good training data.
Yeah.
It's real good synthetic data.
Exactly.
That's what people are looking at. What are you seeing trend-wise? When you look at global markets, what's happening, what's hot in your space?
Yeah. The big tailwind for us has been these particularly regulated industries that are just stuck right at sort of day one, where they're going, right, we've got a bunch of AI tools that our teams want to be using. How do we test it? How do we train it? So the biggest thing that we're seeing is that organizations are using DataMasque to actually start testing some of these new AI use cases, whether it's claims, whether that's for call center use cases. They don't want to be testing this on real customer data. So that's a big trend we're seeing. The other one, obviously, is we've sort of very quickly gone from Gen AI to agentic. And so a lot of the tooling now is around how do we test and train agentic AI before actually rolling these out to real customer data.
There's a lot of responsibility in testing agentic AI, because what it is you're doing outcomes, reasoning, and integration at the same time.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And, I guess one question is, how have you needed to shift the product capabilities to move into the agentic world? Like, what sort of things did you have to do to adjust to the market?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So where we started was mainly like relational data and semi-structured with files. Very quickly, we've had to roll out our in-flight masking, so API calls, being able to do streaming data. And the team are now working on fully unstructured data as well as part of that. So we'll have all data stores covered by being able to do that. The other piece that we actually did was launch onto AWS's Agentic AI Marketplace. So specifically a product that leverages our in-flight masking, our API masking, to be able to be part of that workflow.
It's amazing. You're in the middle of the revolution. You're using the marketplace to expand. And more importantly, you're actually getting to a scale that you couldn't possibly do without the marketplace and the startup program. Thanks so much for sharing your insights.
Well, thanks, Ray. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.